The system is failing. We're going to have more homelessness, more unemployment, and the government has to print more money. It's a command and control economy where the government tells you everything. I just don't trust our government. And they're going to have to start printing pretty quickly. And the more they print, the less value, purchasing power the dollar has, or the loonie, or the yen, or the peso. People are talking about inflation. I think we're in depression right now, and we're going to be the biggest depression in world history.
In the 1970s, that's when the world was changing.
The biggest bust in the history of the world is coming up. It's pensions. They trusted the government. They trusted their pension would be there, and it's going to go bust. And that's us. We'd get crushed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, this is going to be an important video shedding light as to what's going on in both the macro and the crypto space. First and foremost, an important piece of XRP news is that after 8 years of Jed McCaleb dumping XRP on the open market, suppressing XRP's price, he just have a couple more weeks left until his XRP balance reaches zero. Currently a part of Stellar, Jed McCaleb has been causing XRP's price to drop. Now that sell pressure is being thrown out the window, and I expect XRP's price to be much stronger moving forward. That being said, when we look at the overall crypto market, Bitcoin at 19K, Ether just above 1,000, XRP 32 cents, Cardano 44, Solana 32. The crypto market has been trading sideways recently, hovering around that 20K mark for Bitcoin. But remember when I told all of you, I believe one more massive crash is coming to the crypto market. And the big reason why is because of this piece of news. Bankman-Fried, CEO of FTX, warns that some crypto exchanges are already secretly insolvent. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we know this. We understand this. And Celsius is the biggest example that we have that's out in the open of the crypto market's BS. I actually want to correct myself. In a recent video, I stated that the current crash we're seeing in the crypto market has more to do with the macro than the actual crypto space. That's wrong. The crypto space has a lot of bullshit going on. A lot of leverage. A lot of corruption. And just another example of that. FTX is going to buy BlockFi for $25 million at a 99% discount from the 4.8 billion Series E valuation, July 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? Oh man, there's a lot of nonsense going on in crypto. In addition, FTX was looking to buy up Celsius as well. And they denied that because magically $2 billion is over here missing on Celsius's balance sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, that is nonsense that needs to be flushed out of crypto. While I'm a big believer that the SEC and Gary Gensler are over here trying to overreach, there is a lot of nonsense that does need to be cleaned up before the trillions in capital can truly flood this space. Here from Crypto Whale, he predicted in March this year that BlockFi is a Ponzi scheme. And right now, it feels like to me that it really was. They stated in their terms and conditions that they're not responsible for any loss of funds resulted from cyber attacks or technical difficulties. This was put out a year and a half ago. And man, it's screaming in my ears now. Remember that Coinbase warning that they put out just a couple months ago? Get your damn crypto off the exchanges unless you want to get robbed. I have said this time and time and time and time again on my channel, and you better listen. There will be a day where many retail investors lose money simply because they had some crypto off the exchanges. It'll be your own fault. And don't look at me, because I gave you plenty of warning. Get your offline wallets, your Ledger Nanos, your Decent wallets. Prep your cryptos on the side and protect yourself from the crypto apocalypse. 99% of cryptos are going to go away. Tether is going to go away. Remember what I posted to all of you about the data showing a record amount of hedge funds were betting against Tether. Tether has not regained its peg. I believe there will be a liquidity shock in crypto that will cause the nastiest liquidation style event, the nastiest wick we've ever seen. And after that, I expect generational wealth to be made. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you may be wondering, Bull, what happened to the altcoin season and the bull market you expected? Personally speaking, I could tell you this. Nobody could have expected the Terra UST crash. Nobody could have expected all these exchange insolvencies. Nobody could have expected a lot of different things. But now that we have a clear picture of what's been going on the sidelines, I'm better able to tell you what I think is going to come. Nasty wick, then regulations, then the crypto space will be allowed to flourish. We're getting close to a point where we're going to reverse on a lot of this price action. And remember, the Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has been responsible to a big extent for why the market has been crashing. And I do believe that the Fed is too pussy to keep raising interest rates. There is a moment in time they need to reverse, and there are political reasons for this. We have midterm elections coming in November, and personally speaking, I think some of these people will like to stay in power. Ladies and gentlemen, how the hell will they even begin to try to stay in power if they caused one of the biggest recessions in human history right before? I think we're at a point where the Federal Reserve is going to begin reversing course, allowing there to be more inflation yet again. And this is a big example of what I believe is going to continue happening. 23 million Californians will get up to $1,050 in inflation relief checks. Inflation to help combat inflation. You can't make this stuff up. But ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand the macro agenda that they have at play here. The World Economic Forum has been a promoter of universal basic income, being the answer to the inequalities exposed by this health crisis. Guys, what I have to say about all of this is, while things look bleak right now, inflation will return in a more aggressive level. They will hyperinflate this currency into oblivion, and we will experience pain like we haven't seen before. Their central bank digital currency system is what they want, and that's what they're going to bring. Universal basic income will be a narrative and an excuse that they use to help bring on that adoption. Hey guys, those stimulus checks, remember, they got lost in the mail. With this CBDC, we can now just put this in your digital wallet and you receive it with the snap of a finger. It's going to be put in such an altruistic way. It's going to sound compassionate. It's going to seduce you into submission. And that's when they get you. Inflation makes the rich richer and the poor poorer. If you do not own assets, you are going to get obliterated by inflation. That's exactly what they want for you. They want the UBI for you to be submissive to them. It's always been about control. But you take back your own control when you invest in these digital assets that will be solutions to multi-trillion dollar problems. Know their endgame, and you can weather this storm. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I actually bring you over here to my Instagram story, it states only 11% of investors left the crypto market, as opposed to the expected 70%, taking less damage than anticipated. This means two things to me. First and foremost, I do not believe the worst of this crash is said and done. I think there will be one more big flushing out of retail investors like event, and then we're back on the upside. But two, it also shows investor sentiment. People believe in the crypto market more than just the prices this time around, and I believe it's because information has been released that helps to prove that this space is not just a fad, that we are going into full-blown adoption mode. Things like Rosie Rio saying the train has left the station, her name being on all the damn money on the planet, Kevin O'Leary saying at Bitcoin Miami, the trillions of dollars of capital are going to flood into this space, and him saying that crypto will be the 12th sector of the S&P 500. These are all quotes from highly credible people that make me understand that this space is not going anywhere. I think everyone in the XRP army knows this as well. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play specifically XRP a more important role than any of you could even imagine. From Anders Lundberg, XRP Anderson on Twitter, we live in strange times. Now Russian gold is getting banned, and it seems like Russia will go full blockchain to avoid SWIFT. Crypto assets seems to be at the center of this, to avoid the SWIFT system and the US dollar since they're sanctioned. And he provides documents reminding all of us. The government noted in the bill that a separate tax procedure for digital assets is key to the creation of an effective and competitive global digital economy. Russia has tempered its skeptical stance on crypto as the country has increasingly felt the pressure of Western economic sanctions stemming from this invasion. Major Russian banks have been blocked off from the SWIFT system, and G7 countries this week banned the purchase of newly mined or refined Russian gold. Those moves, along with a host of other sanctions, led to Russia's reported default on foreign debt servicing Monday. Russia's Sberbank is preparing to launch a stablecoin, and Russian Central Bank First Deputy Chair stated in an interview dated on Thursday that trials of a digital ruble will be moved up from 2024 to 2023. A pilot project involving 12 Russian banks is underway. I think all self-respecting states will have a national digital currency within 3 years. We should be ready as soon as possible. Plus, this will settle the issue of being blocked from SWIFT because this integration will make SWIFT unnecessary. I think all self-respecting states will have a national digital currency within 3 years. We should be ready as soon as possible. Plus, this will settle the issue of being blocked from SWIFT because this integration will make SWIFT unnecessary. Ladies and gentlemen, also, back in May 2019, Russia appeared here at the 9th high-level meeting of the International Monetary System, where Brad Garlinghouse presented Ripple's XRP and central bank digital currency interoperability. Brad showed settlements through a crypto and thus avoiding US dollar settlements, and Russian gold is no longer good. To me personally, XRP will be at the forefront of spearheading global adoption and pivoting away from the US dollar SWIFT system. XRP's new payment system will be at the center, at the forefront of global geopolitical tensions. You don't believe me, it's still true. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the United States is the only country trying to hinder XRP adoption. XRP's adoption will hinder the United States and the US dollar. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And this SEC lawsuit may be about just that. Ladies and gentlemen, remember Iran and Argentina also filed and applied to be part of the BRICS nations. US dollar dominance and United States dominance and the global stage is slipping. And with that is going to come a new world order. All that being said, regardless of how you feel about that, I'm going to play you this clip from Fox Business of XRP community attorney John Deaton explaining to all of you what's really going on in this Ripple SEC case, so you all really get an understanding of what's at play here. Please take a listen.
Many are saying, hey, listen, this is just part of the curve. It's only natural when you have something like this, something revolutionary like this. But there are still some issues, including legal issues, that feel like a whirlwind, not sure just yet. Joining now, crypto law founder, John Denton. And I want to start with the SEC chair. Yesterday or this week, Gary Gensler, he made some comments, and some aren't sure where he's putting Bitcoin, for instance. Did he say Bitcoin was a commodity? Is it a security? And where does that leave the rest of these cryptos?
Well, Charles, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Gary Gensler came out and finally, after a year, said that Bitcoin is a commodity, but it took him a year to do it. And he didn't comment on any of the other cryptocurrencies. And there's a specific reason for that. He prefers there to be vagueness and regulatory uncertainty, because when there's regulatory uncertainty, it allows him prosecutorial options, right? Because
that gray area.
That gray area.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm on the security side. Believe me, when I first got into business, I found out about the gray area the hard way, because they're, particularly small, young, and coming into the business, you start a business, and the Wall Street side, there's no, like you said, there's no clear lanes, but they do this deliberately. You think they deliberately leave these gray areas?
Oh, absolutely. Because if you provide guidelines, what do entrepreneurs and companies do, Charles? They meet those guidelines. When you keep it uncertain, it gives you options for him to continue to engage in regulation by an enforcement, right? That's how he's doing it. I went on record to say that, to predict that he's going to sue an exchange or two by the end of this year and claim that they're selling unregistered securities other than Bitcoin, but he won't tell you which ones are securities.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right. And it's hard to be ignorant of a law that the law doesn't exist.
Exactly. Absolutely.
It's one thing to say, okay, I didn't know it was on the books, but it's really despicable.
It's disgusting, is what it is. He keeps going on record to saying these exchanges are selling securities. And then you ask, well, which ones? And he won't say, because now we know from his comment that you just asked me about, he's going to go with they're all securities except for Bitcoin, which makes this Ripple XRP case extremely important.
And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. The corruption that is Gary Gensler is being highlighted by community attorney John Deaton. The SEC is purposefully making crypto markets in the United States complete mayhem so they can gain more control. That is why XRP is at the forefront. That is why Ripple is looking for the win. Because if they happen to win this case, the entire crypto industry can thrive without the regulatory gray area that the SEC can exploit. It's never been about the retail investor for the SEC. It's always been about power and lining their pockets. And while the SEC has been lining their pockets to be funded by taxpayer dollars who they're supposed to serve and protect, Ripple has been lining the pockets of their lawyers, millions in legal fees, to make sure they win. They're at war for the entire crypto industry. And I can't stress this enough. Ripple wins full-fledged bull run, full-fledged altcoin season, and utility coins will thrive. Ripple loses. It'll be more than just a crypto apocalypse. Everything is going to burn. And it will be the worst display of financial mayhem we'll ever have seen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here to instill fear in all of you, but rather inform you of what I see coming. 95% of what I've discussed on my channel has come true to some capacity already. Timing is off by me, and the reason is because no one can time the sequence of events perfectly. No one can time the market perfectly. But with anticipation and with the emotional stability that I try to instill every day, we'll be better prepared and willing to take advantage with a plan than 99.9% of the population and crypto investors. Keep that in mind, guys. We will persevere. And finally, to cap off this video today, I have to say that I'm going to be sharing the most important piece of advice I've ever received in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be having a live Q&A on OnlyFans tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will be sharing that life-changing advice. But fear not, I will also, in my next post on Instagram, be sharing this advice with the public. That OnlyFans live Q&A is going to be there for people to be able to ask questions on how they can execute and implement this into their own lives. But I'll be sharing this with the entire community anyways. Please follow me on OnlyFans and Instagram down in the description below if you're interested. But regardless, I want all of you to know that we will win. We're about to cross the end of this finish line together. And I've never felt more confident about the state of my investment than I do right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
Means great guy.
Another point you've made, and this is, I think, particularly relevant 10 years into a bull market, is that I think you said more money has been lost anticipating a downturn than actually in the downturn. Can you explain?
Well, obviously, the market's gone up tenfold since I stopped running Magellan. So you make more money on the upside. The market's going to be a lot higher in 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Trying to predict the market is really a waste. I don't know what it's going to do. It can go down. When I ran Magellan, 13 years, it declined 10% or more, 9 times the market.
Wow.
I had a perfect record. I went down more than 10% every time. Wherever the market went down, I went down more. But over the long term, the upside is more than the downside. So you're going to say to yourself, do I need the money in the next month? Do I need the money in the next year? Do I have kids going to college? Do I have a wedding coming up? Then you're a bad investor. If you can keep putting money in, you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 year, you should do well.